Most people think Walmart is copying Amazon because Amazon won online. That explanation is lazy. Walmart is not chasing a website. It is chasing the thing that made Amazon dangerous: a low-margin retail engine surrounded by higher-margin layers, marketplace fees, advertising, membership, fulfillment. Once those layers get big enough, the basket stops carrying the business by itself. The basket starts attracting traffic, while the layers carry the economics. And that matters now because Amazon is no longer behaving like a company that stays online. It is pushing harder into groceries, faster local delivery, and physical retail tied to everyday essentials. So the old story is over. This is not stores versus the internet anymore. It is a fight over who becomes the operating system for routine spending. For decades, Walmart looked like the unbeatable scale giant. In fiscal 2026, it generated $713.2 billion in revenue, served about 280 million customers and members each week, and operated more than 10,900 stores across 19 countries. That footprint used to define retail power. Then Amazon reported $716 billion in 2025 revenue. On paper, that looks like a symbolic crossover. In reality, it signals something more dangerous. The company that once looked like a pure online disruptor now has the scale to attack the most frequent, most habitual, and most defensible part of Walmart's business. Not occasional purchases, the everyday basket. Once Amazon got big enough to collide with that layer of demand, Walmart's response stopped being optional. It became structural. At Walmart's 2025 investor meeting, management gave away the real shift. It told investors to think about the company as two P&Ls. One was the traditional retail business. The other was a newer digital business built around first and third-party e-commerce, membership, advertising, fulfillment as a service, and data monetization. Then it said the combination creates a stronger P&L with better growth, better margins, and higher returns. A few weeks later, on the Q1 fiscal 2026 earnings call, Walmart said e-commerce was reshaping the business model into a more profitable one over time. That is not the language of a retailer just trying to sell more online. It is the language of a retailer rebuilding its economics, which raises the deeper question: what forced Walmart to think like that in the first place? Because retail on its own is a brutal business, especially in groceries and essentials. Walmart told investors the reality is narrow retail margins. In 2025, it also warned it could not absorb all tariff pressure. That is the trap. Everyday low prices win traffic, but they also squeeze the core business. So the real problem was never just how to sell more online. It was how to protect price leadership without crushing profitability. Amazon solved that years ago. Based on Amazon's reported 2025 category lines, third-party seller services were about $172 billion. Advertising services about $68.6 billion, and subscription services about $49.6 billion. The basket brings the customer in. The surrounding services help pay for the war. Walmart did not start copying Amazon because Amazon looked modern. Walmart started copying Amazon because Amazon proved retail alone was too thin. And once Walmart accepted that logic, the build-out became obvious. Reuters reported that by March 2025, Walmart's marketplace was selling more than 700 million items from 100,000 sellers. Then comes fulfillment. Walmart Fulfillment Services says its rates average about 15% less than other marketplace fulfillment providers. More important, Walmart now lets merchants use its network to fulfill orders not just from Walmart but from Amazon, eBay, Shein, and Temu. Then comes membership. Walmart Plus is built to increase habit with free delivery, free shipping, fuel savings, and streaming perks. Then advertising. Walmart said Walmart Connect in the US grew 41% in Q4 fiscal 2026, excluding Vizio. And after closing the roughly $2.3 billion Vizio deal, Walmart added a connected TV platform with more than 19 million active accounts. Vizio's Platform Plus business accounted for all of that company's gross profit. This is the stack: marketplace, fulfillment, membership, ads, audience. It looks like the answer, but it is still not the full story, because the surface story says Walmart is just catching up in e-commerce. That sounds reasonable. It is also the wrong frame. The real battlefield is frequency plus monetization. Who owns the repeated essentials basket? Who controls discovery? Who charges for access to demand? Who monetizes delivery speed? Who turns convenience into a paid habit? This is where Walmart's physical network becomes strategic, not old-fashioned. In Q1 fiscal 2026, Walmart said deliveries made in less than 3 hours were up 91% year-over-year, and it would soon reach 95% of the US population with delivery options of 3 hours or less. By early 2026, Walmart said those capabilities were serving 95% of US households in under 3 hours. So Walmart is not just adding Amazon-like layers, it is attaching them to a dense physical network sitting close to the customer. That is where imitation ends and direct collision begins. And Amazon is moving the other way at the same time. In 2025, it said US Prime members received over 8 billion items the same or next day, up more than 30%. And half of those items were groceries and everyday essentials. By late 2025, Amazon said same-day perishable grocery delivery had expanded to more than 2,300 cities and towns. By early 2026, it said online grocery delivery was available in over 5,000 US cities and towns. It also said Amazon was now one of the top 3 grocers in the United States, with over $150 billion in gross sales and more than 150 million grocery customers each year. Then came physical expansion. More than 100 new Whole Foods stores planned over the next few years, new 1-hour and 3-hour delivery options across hundreds and more than 2,000 US cities and towns, and Reuters reporting that Amazon was testing a Chicago area megastore built around produce, household essentials, general merchandise, and same-day distribution. So yes, Walmart is copying Amazon's playbook, but Amazon is also moving deeper into Walmart's terrain. Same wallet, same habit, same last mile. That does not mean Walmart has already solved the problem. Amazon's surrounding services are still much larger. Based on Amazon's reported 2025 category lines, third-party seller services alone were about $172 billion. Advertising was about $68.6 billion. Subscription services were about $49.6 billion. Walmart's marketplace, ad stack, membership engine, and connected TV layer are growing fast, but they are still being built. And that is why the next phase gets expensive. Faster delivery, seller incentives, AI shopping tools, ad inventory, grocery expansion, and fulfillment density all cost real money before they create real dominance. Which is why the real lesson here is not that Walmart suddenly admires Amazon. It is that Amazon proves something brutal about modern retail. The product is no longer enough. The winner is the company that monetizes everything around the product. Discovery, habit, speed, fulfillment, and attention. That is what Walmart had to copy, not the interface, the economics. You've watched Triumphs and Troubles. Subscribe to the channel for true business stories, and comment, which company should we cover next?